Welcome to BOJ's Trending News. For top stories in local, regional and international news, along with sports and local weather forecast, I'm Carla. Coming up in our local trending news, DPP to make ruling in corruption allegation case against former Education Minister Reid today. NWC reports restriction in water supply to sections of Bogue community. Another gang busted, 24 members heading to court today. And St. James man arrested and charged with larceny after being caught committing the act on camera. Now the details. The Director of Public Prosecution is scheduled to hand over their findings today in the Financial Investigation Report to the Financial Investigation Division FID, giving details on its opinion on the criminal investigations being carried out on former Education Minister Reid. Last week, the Office of the DPP arranged for 4 senior prosecutors to comb through the documents presented to them by FID in relation to the corruption allegations. The DPP mentioned that it was pushing to complete its investigation and submit its findings to FID today, Thursday, July 18. The former Education Minister recently came under the scope of FID after he was allegedly found to be in an alleged scheme which fleeced the Ministry of millions of dollars. 24 members of the St. Catherine-based One Don gang, a breakaway faction of the notorious Klansman gang, are scheduled to appear in the Supreme Court today. The 24 alleged gangsters, including one woman, are among 33 people who were arrested during recent police raids and are said to be responsible for more than 30 murders, including the death of a police officer. Audrey Blackman Bryan was named by the police as a reputed leader of the criminal outfit. Deputy Commissioner of Police Bailey said yesterday that the gang has been accused of committing shootings, extortion in the St. Catherine North Division and was earning $57 million from extortion annually. Mr. Bailey told reporters yesterday that the accused will be appearing before the court on charges of engaging in the commission of serious crimes, conspiracy to commit murder, and being part of a criminal organization. The remaining 9 suspects are scheduled to face identification parades. A St. James man was arrested and charged with larceny on Tuesday after he was caught on camera breaking into a property on Sewell Avenue in Montego Bay. The accused has been identified as 44-year-old Godfrey Campbell, otherwise called Blacks, unemployed, of Walespawn, also in St. James. Reports are that on Tuesday morning the victim, a projects manager who resides at Sewell Avenue, locked up his 2-bedroom house and went out. Upon his return, he discovered that the house was broken into and items valued at over $100,000 were stolen. He then reviewed his surveillance cameras and saw Campbell committing the act. The police were summoned, and upon arrival, they carried out an investigation which led to Campbell being arrested and the stolen items recovered. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Pernell Charles Jr., says the government has approved additional funding to truck water to communities affected by the drought. Charles Jr. also added that repairs will be also carried out with urgency to various water supply systems, and that the government aims to impact the communities through emergency trucking and, more importantly, to carry out those minor repairs that can alleviate the need for investment in trucking water. According to the Senator, the relevant authorities will now have to focus on ensuring that when a pump is installed, it is not stolen, and also that when they put in pipelines, there are no diversions. He says the Jamaica Constabulary Force has promised to work with the NWC Water Compliance Team to ensure that persons obey the laws governing the NWC. In the meantime, the National Water Commission is reporting that due to low water flow at the Redding Spring in Montego Bay, St. James, it has become necessary to regulate water to Bogue Hill and sections of Bogue Heights in the parish. The NWC say, effective immediately, customers in these areas will receive water only on Tuesdays and Saturdays. The NWC say that this schedule will remain in effect until the inflow of water is back to normal. Those were your top stories making local trending news. Now join us for news from across the region, as well as our international stories, sports and local weather forecast. From across the region, Cuba's energy minister says breakdowns in the country's power plants have caused a string of blackouts across the country this week, and he promises the problem will be solved by Saturday. Minister of Energy and Mining Ruel told state media Tuesday night that a series of blackouts in cities and towns throughout Cuba was due to mechanical problems in 3 power plants, as 2 others were down for maintenance. The statement came after days of official silence in response to reports on Twitter from Cubans' experience in power cuts. Dozens of users reported the times during and the locations of blackouts in a dramatic example of the government's broken monopoly on information in the face of increased access to mobile internet, which came into wide use this year. In international news, going after 4 Democratic congresswomen one by one, a combative President Donald Trump turned his campaign rally into an extended discussion of the liberal views of the women of color, deriding them for what he painted as extreme positions and suggesting they just get out. Tonight I have a suggestion for the hate-filled extremists who are constantly trying to tear our country down, Trump told the crowd in North Carolina, a swing state he won in 2016 and wants to claim again in 2020. They never have anything good to say. That's why I say, hey, if you don't like it, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Eager to rile up his base with some of the same kind of rhetoric he targeted at minorities and women in 2016, Trump declared Wednesday night, I think in some cases they hate our country. The president's jabs were aimed at the self-described squad of 4 freshman Democrats who have garnered attention since their arrival in January for their outspoken liberal views and distaste for Trump. Representative Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez of New York, Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, Ayanna Pressley and Rashida Tlaib all were born in the U.S. except for Omar, who came to the United States as a child after fleeing Somalia with her family. For our sporting report, Maurice Wilson, head coach of a Sprintec track club, has come out against the proposed method for selecting Jamaica's female sprint hurdlers for the team to compete at the IAAF World Championships in September. His position stems from the fact Yannick Thompson, the athlete he trains, got hurt on the final day of Jamaica's national championships on June 23 and has been unable to race ever since. She is now in a race against time to get the competition she needs so she can move up in the IAAF rankings. The Jamaica Athletic Administrative Association, JAAA, was unable to select the top 3 sprint hurdlers at the national championships. Danielle Williams, the 2015 world champion, was determined to have false started, but she refused to leave the track, delaying the race for more than 20 minutes. In the subsequent restart, some runners did not hear the callback gun until they were well into the race during a faulty start. One runner, Janique Brown, ran the entire race. The JAAA abandoned the race, citing that some runners suffered injuries during the restart. Among them was Thompson, the 2018 Commonwealth Games bronze medalist. Something happened and she stepped back and twisted her ankle, so we had to do extensive rehab to remedy the situation. It took a week to get her ankle functioning in a way she could start training, and slowly she is getting back there, Wilson said. The JAAA subsequently issued a statement saying it would select the top 3 Jamaican hurdlers on the IAAF World Rankings by August 16. Thompson is currently the 4th best Jamaican in the rankings with 1,194 points. It is in that context that she will take on a world-class field that includes fellow Jamaicans Danielle Williams and Megan Tapper at the Diamond League meeting this weekend without having raced since the national championships. On our local weather forecast, insignificant feature, a high-pressure ridge across Jamaica. The high-pressure ridge is expected to remain across the island through to early Friday morning. A tropical wave is then expected to move across the island on Friday afternoon. The forecast for this morning will see partly cloudy skies across sections of eastern parishes, generally fair elsewhere. During this afternoon, isolated showers and thunderstorms across sections of central and western parishes and hilly inland areas elsewhere. Tonight, partly cloudy. Maximum temperature expected for Kingston as well as Montego Bay today is 34 and 35 degrees Celsius, respectively. The Director of Public Prosecution is scheduled to hand over their findings today in the Financial Investigation Report to the Financial Investigation Division FID, giving details on its opinion on the criminal investigations being carried out on former Education Minister Reid. Last week, the office of the DPP arranged for 4 senior prosecutors to comb through the documents presented to them by FID in relation to the corruption allegations. The DPP mentioned that it was pushing to complete its investigation and submit its findings to FID today, Thursday, July 18. The former education minister recently came under the scope of FID after he was allegedly found to be in an alleged scheme which fleeced the Ministry of millions of dollars. That was BOJTV's Trending News, your top local, regional and international stories, as well as sports report and weather forecast. Until next time, I'm Carla. Thanks for watching.